Hey everyone, I'm a Big Blaze. Have you seen the recent class changes? I do like it when Blizzard try to balance the game, but this class changes philosophy is wrong. I really dislike that they are nerfing high performing specs instead of buffing the rest of the specs. A lot of the time it feels that the nerfs solve nothing. If Blizzard do not obliterate the high performing specs to the point that other specs can rise, is there even a change? They are basically create harder game for us. I'll explain why in a few seconds. I really like to know what do you think on those changes. Do you like the way Blizzard changed specs? Let me know in the comments. Let's start. So, like I said, I really don't like the way Blizzard addressed the balancing issue. In a matter of fact, the solution creates more problems. Blizzard's solution to high performing specs is just to nerf them. Most of the time it's a small nerf to get those specs back in line and reduce the gap between them and the rest of the specs. But in reality, it's a small nerf. Most of the time it will not change the spec rank, and the bigger problem, it will not change the meta. For example, if we look on the enhancement nerf in the recent changes, we can expect between 5 to 10% nerf. Those nerfs will do nothing to the Mythic Plus meta. Enhancement is still the best spec by far even after the nerfs, and the best comp will stay the same. If everything stayed the same, what was the point of the changes? I think that Blizzard should buff other specs instead of nerfing the better ones. If we keep getting small changes that do not affect the meta, underperforming specs will stay underperforming specs. If Blizzard will start buffing other specs to the point that they can become competitive, they will give some players a room to grow and a chance to get invites into Mythic Plus. Another problem that Blizzard creates with nerfing the high performing specs is that the dungeons all of a sudden become harder. We can see this problem every season when Blizzard decide to nerf the top specs. Usually after those class changes, we see some kind of dungeon changes to balance the damage nerfs. Before I'll get some hate comments, I want to say that I'm not biased towards any spec. Of course, if there are some specs that really are breaking the meters, like enhancement, Blizzard should nerf them, but they need to buff others as well. If I'll try to look on the big picture, I'm sure that some of you do like those nerfs to the top specs. We are players in a competitive game, and it's only nature to have some hate towards the high performing specs, especially if you are one of the underperforming specs that do not get some love from Blizzard. But ultimately, I think that buffing other specs will be a better way to approach the balancing issue. You give more players the option to do high Mythic Plus, and you can increase the chances to change the meta. Personally, I really like that the meta shift from time to time. It gives a breath of fresh air in the middle of the season. On top of that, no one likes to see their spec get some nerf after all the time they spent on it. Let me know in the comments what do you think, and if you have more solution to the problem. Maybe you don't think it's a problem at all. If you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, it helps me a lot. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.